yo, how y'all doing? Yo, welcome back. Or maybe I should say welcome back as dag to myself, because it's been a couple of weeks. Did y'all miss me? Because I sure didn't miss you. But anywho, for those who are new to my channel, my name is Teaya Joy. Welcome. And to my fam, what is up? I'm so glad to see you. Yo, as y'all can see, I'm very, very excited. But I am here with today's video, and I'm so glad to see all of y'all. And so today, y'all, it's been a minute. I mean, I know it's been 2 weeks, but dang, like, that's a long time. Sorry, y'all. I know you've been wondering, like, yo, it's been 2 weeks, Tia. You have not put out a video. What is going on? Well, you know, I've just been busy, you know, just having a lot of great opportunities happening to me lately. And also, the holidays just passed, and happy 4th of July to all of you guys. Happy Independence Day. I hope you guys had a great time with your family. I know I did, even though it was a little bit short. I ain't even gonna go into why, but you know, it was great to be with the fam, and I hope you guys enjoyed family, because as you probably don't know something about me, family is so important. So I hope you guys were able to spend time with your fam. But coming back, but today I'm excited to get in today's video. I'm going to talk about my top favorite tap dancers. I hope you guys enjoy the intro. Don't take it serious, y'all. Don't be like, oh my god, what the heck was that? Yo, I was just having some fun. I was dancing, and that's the thing that I love so much about tap dancing. It's just about having fun, you know, enjoying yourself, be in the moment. And so that's exactly what I was doing. And if you love the song, you know, leave the door open, yo, go do your own thing to it, okay? I was really trying to play the part. Really trying to play the part. But anyway, I'm about to get to top 5 of my favorite tap dancers, and this is going to be the males. Booyah! So I just really wanted, I don't know, I got this request actually by doing the video of asking my audience of what they want to see me do, and so tap dancing was one of them. So I'm definitely going to get into that. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, here's my list that I have, and if you have your favorite tap dancer, go ahead and put in the comments below. Please don't come out to be like, yo, you don't like XYZ. It's not like I don't like them. The thing is, these are just mine. So definitely put yours. I would love to hear from you of what you like. I know this is a little bit different, and maybe a lot of you guys don't know much about tap, or maybe you do. If so, I want to get all those tappers. If you are a tap dancer out there trying to connect and hit everybody in this industry, I'm not going to just keep it, you know, one. I'm going to try to reach everybody. And so I'm going to the tap lovers out there. So if you're a tap dancer out there, you love tap, let me hear you say woo woo. All right, so there we go. So the first one I want to talk about is Fred Astaire, and I love Fred Astaire, and it's crazy, he's from Omaha, Nebraska. Yo, that's dope, because I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm not there now, but I'm just saying. But Fred Astaire is like an amazing entertainer in the industry, and yo, like low key, not only is he amazing dancer, but his sister, Adele, she was actually like, them two, Fred Astaire got into dancing when he saw his sister when he was at the age of 4, and she was doing ballet, and they were trying to kill some time, and he started doing some ballet moves by putting it on the ballet slippers and pretty much imitating what the girls was doing in class. And him and his sister actually started to hit the entertainment industry and being a duo, and that's crazy, you know, when you have Fred and you have his sister doing things together, and it just shows once again how important family is. And it's I think that's pretty wonderful that them two brothers and sisters starting off being in the industry. And dancing together. And so actually, low-key, his sister was actually more talented than him, which is crazy. But Fred Astaire, when you think about him, you know, you don't really think too much of his sister. So that's crazy. So when I was reading about that, I'm like, oh, really? His sister? Like, I didn't know he had a sister, but he had a sister. But he's just an iconic man in the entertainment. He was just not just only a dancer, but he was a singer. He was an amazing actor. And I know, even though him and his sister started off, he ended up linking with Ginger Rogers, and them two was actually the best duo in the industry at that time, and everyone was trying to copy them. But Fred Astaire definitely paved the way, and he was also a fan of Michael Jackson. And if you see Moonwalker, actually Michael Jackson was influenced by him. So it's cute how you have two icons in the industry and they're both influenced by each other. And that's something I just loved about definitely Michael on that side, is how, as much as people was looking up to him, as much as he was looking up to other people were looking up to him. So Fred Astaire definitely commended him a lot about his moves and his in the way he danced, and how he knew that because of Michael, the way he was moving, and how Michael really was influenced by him, Fred knew that dancing would be okay because of Mike, which is crazy. But going back to Fred Astaire, and so I just really love Fred Astaire. I love how smooth he is. I just love how entertaining he is when he be tap dancing. I would probably say one of my favorites, and there's a lot that he did, because I definitely talked about him in the Breakin' series, if you've seen Breakin' 1 and 2, and how the dancing with Michael Chambers, aka Boogaloo Shrimp, when he did the broom dance, that was influenced by Fred Astaire's dance with the closet hanger, and not hanger, but the hanger stick. And then also in Breakin' 2, he Boogaloo Shrimp danced on the wall, and so did Fred Astaire do this exact same thing. So definitely you could tell moments of when Fred Astaire was definitely people was influenced by him. But I really love the story of Vernon and Irene Castle, when you see Fred Astaire and he's sitting there with Irene and they're just chilling. You have this guy coming out and he starts tap dancing, and then Fred Astaire just mimic what he does, and he's like, okay, and then he does it again, and the next thing you know, he gets up and starts dancing right behind him, and this guy thinking he's really killing it, but then finally comes out and then he just starts doing his thing. You know, he's just very smooth and suave, and he just knows he doesn't have to do too much and be extra, you know, to entertain. He just know how to draw you into what he's doing with his happy dance and his beautiful smile and just wiggling, going up the stair, going down. Like, I just love Fred Astaire, and so he's definitely like one of my favorite tap dancers. The second person I'm going to talk about is Bill Bojangles Robinson. Now this guy, he definitely paved the way. He definitely, and not saying that none of these tap dancers did, but I know a lot of people are influenced by these guys that I'm mentioning. So Bill Bojangles, this guy is so amazing, and not just only in the tap dancing, but also in the community as well, because he was well known in New York. And matter of fact, he actually had the largest, most people at his funeral ever in New York history, by having over 1.5 million people all the way, what did they say, from Harlem, what did they say, it went from Harlem all the way to Brooklyn. That's how many people was lined up for his funeral, because he was just not just an amazing entertainer, but he also helped the community. So little do you guys, just in case if you don't know just a little about him, he was the highest paid black entertainer in his time by getting $3,000 a week. Now I know us today, we can look at that and say, yo, that's just not much, but back in the day, that's a lot of money. And he was the first black high paid black entertainer, which is amazing. And so, and not only that, when the stock market went down and crashed, he was so generous. He helped his community by paying people's bills, getting food for them. And that's when he became, like, everyone loved him so much, because he cared about his community. And when he used his gift also for benefit concerts to raise money to help people in the community and for charities. And so I think that's just amazing how he used his talent to do that, to help everybody. But also on his own journey of being an entertainer himself. But one thing I did kind of question, which I thought was very, very interesting. So there's this thing called the minstrel shows that happened in the theaters, and it was white theaters because blacks was not allowed to entertain. So you will have these white entertainers, and they would put on black makeup and mimic, because at the time, this was like around the war, when I believe it was either going on or it was over, but they would literally mimic the slaves from the plantations. And I thought that's very interesting. So you don't want no black person to play these roles, but you have white people playing these roles by putting on black makeup and mimic African Americans in slavery time. That didn't make any sense to me. And it's like, but one thing that Bojangles did was, when they would do parades to let people know that these shows was coming into town, and when they were going on tour, he would go and he would learn and mimic what they were doing, and he ended up being known as a little kid of being an amazing dancer, mimicking them. Crazy, but that's Bojangles for you. And then his whole dream, his biggest dream, was to go into Hollywood and to be an amazing entertainer. So by him and Shirley Temple, by them being a duo, and it's very interesting because he didn't really have children, but with Shirley Temple, it definitely gave him that fatherhood type role that he was able to have when he was doing these films with her. And so when they did the Little Colonial, when they were dancing on the stair, I thought that was really dope. And I've always wanted to do that, just do a little tap dance on the stair, because as you know, Bojangles, he's known for actually doing that. And so that was really, really cute that he was able to do that. And on top of that, they were both able to do several films together doing tap numbers, which was really, really great for them too. And just to go back a little bit, one thing that Bojangles learned when it came to him adding a little bit more happiness and joy and being more comedic with his moves, he was linked up with George Cooper back in the day, and them two were duos. Because when it came to that era, when it came to African Americans or black people dancing and doing entertainment, they couldn't be by themselves. So blacks couldn't be with whites, whites couldn't be black, so they had to do what is called he basically had to break the stereotype of race on race acts, where a black person has to be with a black person. Like, they cannot have a solo act, period. So when he was able to branch off on his own, he definitely made a name for himself, and he was actually more accepted into doing solo acts. But even though he was getting a lot of money, he wasn't able to still go to these hotels or restaurants. He still had to be treated like a African American had to be, which is, you can't, whites only, this whole segregation thing still happening, even though he got paid and he can afford it. But it's just crazy that he had this home swag where he had the suit and the top hat, and by him being in Hollywood, it definitely suppressed him. And the thing that really got him was when he did a performance at the Cafe Metropole, and it was the first time that he was able to wear his suit and hat. But the scene that he did, it ended up getting cut. It didn't even get on the film. And so that really hurt him, because his whole dream was he wanted to dance in Hollywood, and it sucked. And if you see the performance, you get to see the cut, deleted scene of him performing. But he got his big break when there was the movie that came together, which was Stormy Weather, which is an all-black cast, and it had Lena Horne, it had the Nicholas brothers, and so much more, and he was able to star in it. And that's like the film that pretty much where all of the best were able to come together. Actually, that was his big break of being in a Hollywood film. But his first big break was actually Blackbirds of 1928, and he ended up being in that role when he was 50 years old. So it took all the way until he's like 65 to be able to be in this big, huge movie of being a star role in Hollywood, which was Stormy Weather. And he was able to wear his good old suit and his top hat once and wear it with pride. Especially that was his signature look, and the fact that he was able to, when he did other movies, he couldn't be able to wear that because he had to be reduced down to who he was, which is you're a black person, so you gotta play a butler, you gotta play someone who's being cleaning stuff. So by him being in this movie, it was a big break for him and a lot of people of like, yes, I finally get to do my dream job, which is being a major role in a Hollywood movie. So but much greatness with Bojangles. Just love him. He ended up getting the honorary mayor because of what he did when the stock market crashed, and he was just a beloved entertainer in the industry, period. So he's definitely one of my favorite ones. All right, so my third person is the Nicholas brothers. Absolutely love them. Them two are like crazy because first of all, these two boys, they are such amazing dancers, and not only that, but they are so fearless. Like when you see them move and when you see them dance, like they are not afraid to try anything. They will jump off of stuff, they will do flips, and of course they are most known for going into the splits, jumping over each other. And I just love them too. Like they're just so amazing. Not only can they dance, but you know, they can also sing. So Harold and Fair, they are just such amazing duo, and knowing that they're brothers is even sweeter because there's nothing better than, especially around this time where you had the whole segregation going on, there's nothing better than entering the entertainment world with family. And so the fact that they were able to face things together and not one person being by themselves, knowing that it's going to be a risk, especially going on a solo act, the fact that they both had each other and they were able to break brand boundaries and move smoothly, go into the entertainment with each other was dope. And of course Fred Astaire was one of their favorite icons, and they were able to meet him in Hollywood. And so I just really love them. And of course my favorite scene was from Stormy Weather, when I believe they said it was only one take, that they didn't even need to do another take because this performance that they did was so iconic, by them dancing on the table, then going to the aerial and dancing on the platforms where the instruments was, to dance on the piano, to dancing on the stage, to doing the famous stair dance. You cannot go wrong with this scene. When they were going up the stair, there's something about a stair dance where it's like, yes, and then they go down jumping on top of each other. And yo, low-key, Aladdin, Jamal Sims, you didn't think I caught that, but if you see Aladdin and if you see a friend like me at that end of never ever, like that whole, I know you got that from the Nicholas brothers, because this scene that we see with the jumping on each other, going down the stairs was dope. And of course when they did the whole slide, going down that slide, oh, so iconic. That's like one of the best stuff that they ever done. But I just really like them, and they're just, and if you guys like them, definitely put it in the comments. I just definitely want to hear what you got to say about them too. But it's also crazy how I believe it was Harold who was saying how they were like 84 years old when they finally started to receive rewards. And that's like crazy because he's like, yo, I should have got that one and we was this age and that age. But we have to remember, when it comes to African Americans, we don't really get too much honor like we should get, because how's that going to make the white person look? Hate to say it, but I can definitely say that's not 100% true, because Bojangles ended up getting an mayor honorary as when he was in New York. But I definitely know also more about these dancers, how a lot of them were saying how they got more respect out of the country than the U.S. and that sucks. Like, we're in the U.S., supposed to be the home of the land of the free, and we get treated like crap. But in other countries, they were able to truly be themselves. I definitely read about that, about the Negro Leagues, when I was watching and reading more about that era, about what's going on them, how they loved playing baseball. And I know this is a little bit off topic, but they loved playing baseball out of the country because they got more respect out of the country than they did in the USA, which is crazy. But moving forward. So my fourth one is Gregory Hines, and he's like another guy that just pretty much passed on the torch of tap dancing, and he's such a musical icon. And not only that, he's a tap dancer, but he also he sung, he played instruments, and I just think that's just very, very interesting. That I believe is very important, especially in entertainment. Like, we can't always just rely on dance. We got to learn how to branch off of other things like acting or singing or instruments, something, because dancing can only go so far by itself. Like, you got to learn other things as well. And so definitely these guys definitely taught me and helped me understand that, you know, you got to do more than just dancing. And dancing can always be a foundation, but it's good to add other stuff in it. And so Gregory Hines did the same thing. I just remember a lot about Gregory Hines because of The Preacher's Wife. And I love The Preacher's Wife. Like, I grew up watching that. It's like my mom's favorite movie. But he's an amazing tap dancer, and I also remember seeing him. And he had his he was known for the Cotton Club and the White Knights, and that's his big break of being in the movies. And he actually, when he started, it was Hines and Dad, because it was him and his brother, and then his dad, he ended up playing the drums, so they ended up becoming a group. And so when he branched out on his own, that's when he started to get into film and doing some acting. And he ended up being taught and influenced by Sandman Sims and the Nichols brothers. So once again, it's just the influence of these iconic tap dancers that just took him to another level. And he's an amazing Gregory Hines is an amazing tap dancer. So I feel like he's a little underrated because a lot of people don't talk much about him, but he's another one. Him and the last one I'm going to talk about, which is number 5, which is Savion Glover. And he definitely learned a lot from Gregory Hines. I could tell that was like his prodigy, because if you see the movie Tap, you see him in there definitely being influenced by the tap dancers, especially, and I believe I'm going to get into that movie because that's a really good movie. But Savion Glover, I just remember liking him because I always see him on Sesame Street. It's like when I was a kid, so that's how I know him. I'm like, who is that tapper up there dancing? And so he's just another amazing tap dancer. But he was definitely influenced by Fred Astaire, Nicholas Brothers, and of course Gregory Hines. And I definitely know that he possibly could have got trained by him a lot by being around him. And so just the fact of how he dances as well, I really loved how he's not always about choreography. He's really about freestyle and improvisation, and that's just amazing to see what he can do with just hearing music and then letting his feet go. And so I just really, really love that about him as a dancer and a tap dancer. And he's just amazing to show that you don't have to, you know, take the vocabulary away. Just go for it, go what you feel. And I know Gregory Hines is the same way in a way, and that's how all these dancers are. And it's just amazing to see them and how they've grown. I know for me, I just really I enjoy tap dance. It's so much fun. It's actually like one of my favorite dances that I love doing besides hip hop and ballet, contemporary and modern. It's like one of the cherries on the top. It's like the most fun thing to see what your feet can do and the sounds. I like to say tap dancing is like creating music. It's like creating your own beats. It's like your own mini box because you're able to just create different sounds and see what it can do, and it is really dope. And so I just really enjoyed it. If you guys like this list, go ahead and hit the like button. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. We'd love to hear from you. Definitely put in the comments your favorite tap dancers that you absolutely love. I would love to hear from you. These are my top 5. I know there are so many more out there, but if you have them, definitely put it in the comments. Subscribe to this channel. I would love for you all to become part of the family, and also hit that bell so you'll be instantly notified when I upload a new content. Definitely check out the other videos that I have done in the past. And the last one I've done was In the Heights. I've done Selena versus Selena the series, so definitely go check those out. Thank you so much to these amazing tap dancers and for your hard work and just being influence and icons in the industry that we could definitely look back. I think it's just so important that as we are dancing, and that's another thing, I forgot to say this about Bojangles. The one thing I also liked about Stormy Weather, but what he did was when he got the bucket, he put the sand out on the ground, and that just showed you exactly where it pretty much came from. It's from dancers taking sand in their shoes and dancing on sand, and that's how you get those sound effects before we got into the whole tap shoes. And it's just very, very important that as we are moving forward in dance, that we just know where things come from. We know who helped pave the way, and there's so many more to list, and this is just to name a few. But it's so important that as we are continuing in these dance styles, that we know where it comes from. We know who started it, who paved the way, how did it begun, and what was going on around that time. Like, it's just so important, because we just can't keep doing stuff and like, I'm doing it just to do it, or want to evolve about something if you don't even know who's the teachers of it and who created what. So definitely educate yourself, as I am too. I'm still learning, still growing, and if you agree with that, shout hallelujah. But that's all that I have, you guys, for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will definitely look forward, you guys, to the next video. And yo, don't forget not only to make good choices, to make wise choices. Bye.